Hi everybody, it's Papa Kenny from Papa Kenny's Workshop. Alright, I know it's been a while, so let's get right to the medium rare. Alright, I did record a couple good videos. I was rebuilding a bucket on a excavator, a few other things I had to do to it. Came home, started to do editing, and I lost all my volume. The video's there, but I lost all the volume. And I don't know if my wireless microphone went dead. I just don't know what happened. So really frustrating. It's not the first time it's happened to me. You put so much work into doing video and something like that happens, a corrupt file. I guess it happens to everybody. Anywho, I may work on that, trying to do some voiceover. It will be the very first video that I've done any kind of voiceover, and I don't know, we'll see. Anyhow, we're out here working on the work truck. As you can see, I got it jacked up, front tires off. Here's the situation. I have this truck a real long time. I know at some point, years ago, I started to lose brake pedal. Now, over the years, I'll say in the last 3 years, new rotors, new calipers, new master cylinder, new booster, and rear brakes and cylinders, rear cylinders. Never could get a pedal in this vehicle. Never could get a good pedal in this vehicle. It stopped, but never had a strong pedal. The other day, driving down the road, pulling on it, well actually I was pulling out of a parking lot, stepped on the brake and went halfway to the floor as normal. It would stop, but the pedal never came back up. So the pedal got stuck down and my brakes were dragging. So enough is enough. I'm going to start with the new rubber lines for the front and the rear over here. Now I hear sometimes these things can collapse because of this little fitting here. This bracket here. I don't know. I have to start somewhere. So we're going to start with the brake lines. Rubber brake lines, one on each side, and bleed the brakes, see how they feel, then we'll move on to the back. I just don't know where to go from here. Everything's been brand new over my brake pads are perfect. Let me go over here and show you. Now I got plenty of brake pad in there, so, and I already checked the rear brakes last week. What's odd about these trucks, there's no way to adjust your brakes. In the backing plate, there's no hole, and there's no place to put a hole to adjust your rear brakes. So it's basically by feel, putting them on and spinning them, all that kind of crap. So I'm gonna get set up. I'll set the tripod up, and we'll see how this video comes out. All right, guys, let's get after it. All right, I'm already looking at my memory card. It's in the red. So I took the charcoal canister out of the way. It was right here. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Rubber brake line attaches to the steel brake line over here. Now some of you may say, bleed the ABS system. Well, I have a computer. I put a computer on this, and the last 3 times I bled the brakes, I did. I bled the ABS through the computer. So I'm not messing with that little valve or anything over here. I'm able to do that, do an ABS bleed through the computer. I got a snap-on computer over there. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Alright, so I sprayed some stuff on here, lube juice, and the other one's over here. So I'm looking at my memory card. It's in the red. That means it's full. So before I set up the tripod, I'm gonna go switch memory cards. Alright, we'll see you guys back here in a minute. Alright, actually I didn't film it because I didn't want to lose a whole lot of brake fluid. So I was able to break that free. Got this back on. A little tight area here, but got it back together. No leaks yet. And put it on the caliper. So I got this thingamajiggy right here. Let me back up a little bit. It's a vacuum booster. So compressed air runs in, you pull the trigger, and it does a vacuum, sucks the fluid out back into the container. I just did pull the bleeder screw out. As you can see, this thing's pretty beat up, but I blew through it, cleaned it out. So I'm gonna put it back in, pump the brakes a couple times, make sure I don't have any leaks, and then we'll put this all back together up here. All right, so I'll show you how I bleed the brakes in just a second. Hang on, hang tight, guys. I don't know how well you can see that, but brake fluid's dripping, so I made it down through there. Screw this thing back in here. Break it loose just a little bit. And the compressed air goes on here from the compressor. And this hose goes over the bleeder screw. Just like this. I don't know how well you see it, but you're going to be able to see it, but you should see fluid coming through here and bubbles. You do it until the bubbles are gone. Actually, I don't think it's open enough. Alright, air bubble is just starting to come out. You're going to get the fluid all the way through here. I don't know if you can see them bubbles. That's all air. While you're doing this, you're going to keep an eye on your master cylinder. You don't want to run it dry and have to do this all over again. All air, that white stuff. I don't really like the way this fitting's fitting. Still pulling air. I'm actually watching it down there on that hose too. You can feel the air going through. Gotta give the compressor time to build up too. Add some brake fluid. And while the compressor build it up, I'm gonna go get myself a coffee and we'll get back at it. Build it up. I put the charcoal canister, I think that's what that is, back in. And we'll see if we can get a little bit more air out of here. Oh yeah, I can, it's hard for you guys to see. But through the hose, yeah. Alright, so I think I get all the air out of a new line. I'm going to bolt that little bracket up. We're going to have to come back and do an automated bleed through the computer anyway. So let me put this line back together and we'll go through the other side. Alright, just for reference, here's the line I pulled out in this bracket I was talking about. Right here. Pretty hard in there, so I don't know. We're guessing in the wind at this point. Alright, let's get this other side apart. Pretty good so far. I was able to break that one free up there and letting the brake fluid drip on the line. That helps me back it off. Unfortunately, I broke the two bolts going through the holder. That's okay. I didn't show you guys this on the other side, but you gotta remember to put in your copper washers on your caliper. I just switched over to the wireless microphone. See how it happens. Alright, so far so good. You guys seen I broke this one free. Taking this off. Don't forget about the copper washers on each side of your line. So let's put this thing, take it off, put this thing back together. Gotta go kind of fast because I want to bleed the master cylinder dry. Alright, why is it stuck in here? Took the clip off. There we go. It's a little tricky, not making sure you get this started without stripping it. Okay. Tighten up the caliper side. Then I'm going to loosen the bleeder screw and hopefully that fluid will travel down as I'm tightening it. I'm actually going to take it right out and clean it out in a second. Alright, let me try to tighten this thing up. As you can see, there's not a lot of throwing the wrench. That's why sometimes these right angle wrenches are perfect for this. I did this on the other one. It felt hard going in, but I guess we'll see, right? Strip it out, then what? All right, we can try to get this clip in. A little bit more stability. Oh boy, still spinning. Alright, that's all tight. Go check the brake fluid and find a couple bolts for this. Alright guys, same process. Vacuum some fluid out of here. A lot of bubbles. Good thing I come and checked. I was almost out of brake fluid. Like I said, we're going to have to do an automated bleed again anyway with the computer. Alright. Oh yeah. You guys might be able to get a better look at that line right there. The fluid going through it. Still a little bit of air. But the other thing you're gonna make sure is that this bleeder ain't open, because it'll suck air through the... You just want this thing cracked. Otherwise, I've seen it suck air up through the spinning itself. There we go. There we go, much better. Pull a little bit more. I don't know if I'm supposed to have the cap on the top of the reservoir or off, but it seems to work better, pull a better vacuum when the cap's on. So a little bit more air bubbles. And I'm not seeing so much through the whole line, just over here right now. Okay. Phone's ringing. I tell you, do a job like this, you try not to make a mess, but every time you're trying to make a mess, I make a bigger mess. I'm just gonna let this pull. Can't hurt to bring fresh brake fluid through it too, I would assume. I may well stand up here and watch the fluid go down little bit by little. Nope, there goes the damn compressor again. Alright, we'll give the compressor time to build up and get ready to take the back apart. And I gotta find a couple bolts for this. Actually, that's what I'll go do. I'll find a couple bolts, nuts and bolts for this bracket, and then we'll jump on the back. Alright, so I got it all back together. But before I start it up, and I don't advise this to anybody. I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna start it up on the jack. This is very dangerous. But before I do that, let's put some air through these rubber lines, see what happens over here. I want some compressed air. I'm just curious if anything comes out. Well, that's odd. Oh yeah, so as you can see, plenty of stuff coming out of one side. This one here, not so much. Yeah, not so much this side. Maybe that was my problem. Yeah, this is the one that come off the other side, the driver's side. I'm not getting a whole lot of air coming out of here. Kind of hard for me to do it, and that might be my problem. Alright, at first, it was a little hard. And as you can see, this one, well, we won't know until we try. Alright, I'm going to start it up and check my pedal. You guys want to watch in case the truck falls off the jack stand? I mean, off the jack? No jack stands. Alright, how if you see this thing starting to fall? I must have a leak because my pedal went right to the floor. And here it is. Something's leaking here. That means I got to do it all over again. Nothing here, but I got a leak on the other side. let's go check it out. And as you can see, something's dripping over here. Let me turn the wheel. Maybe I didn't tighten it up, something up enough. See if I can see where that's leaking. I got a feeling. I got a feeling. That it's this thing going into the caliper. We'll see. Right now my radio's on, I can hear it. Next I'll have a dead battery. Alright, let me pump this up and see if we can see where it's leaking. Yeah, it appears to be where the new line goes into the caliper. Let me see if I can tighten that up. Alright, so I still think I got it on my mind. It's getting dark. It's gonna rain, so I'm gonna go get a master cylinder just in case before it's pouring. I could take the car, but nah, we're gonna take this little unit. So I'm gonna strap the GoPro on, and we'll take this thing down and get some pots. I have to get cigarettes anyway, so let's take the 9-bot or silly bot, whatever the hell this thing. It's been a while since I rode this, so you guys might just see me fall on my ass. All right, so we're on the scooter. Here we go. Just a little bumpy driveway. So you'll hear it beeping. That means I'm going way too fast and I have to slow it down. How's the view? All right, go. All right, here we go. Oh, I forgot we got a stop sign over here, huh? How do you stop this thing?